Hi everyone, and today I'm going to be showing you a very famous game played between Pewdiepie, who was black. If you don't know, Pewdiepie was the most subscribed YouTuber on YouTube, and with the white pieces, it was Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion and world #1. This was played at a charity event in Moscow, and according to reports, the event raised just over £4.20, so it was all for a good cause. Now, on with the game. Carlsen decided to play the move pawn to e3, quite an unusual opening for Carlsen. He was obviously trying to avoid heavy theoretical lines such as the Najdorf variation of the Sicilian defence, of which Pewdiepie is a world-renowned expert. Now, black responded with pawn to a5. Now, Pewdiepie, who has 35 million subscribers on YouTube, thought this was a good move, and quite rightly so. There are many good reasons why it's such a great move. Most notably, as I pointed out with that green arrow, it gives a way for the rook on a8 to move to a6. It also enables Pewdiepie to really dominate Carlsen early on in the game. Now, Carlsen plays the move queen to h5, perhaps trying the scholar's mate. It's quite like Carlsen to play the scholar's mate, as last year in the World Chess Championships, he played it against Anand in Game 4. We will soon have a video on our channel about scholar's mate, so stay tuned for that. Now, Pewdiepie played the move Rook A6, trying to get the rook into the game. This variation is known as the Indian Gambit. The point is, the pawn on a5 is very dangerous, as it is putting pressure on the b4 square, like I've highlighted. After queen h5, a blunder would be knight c6, as after bishop c4, Carlsen has a forced mate. Probably the best try is pawn to e5, but after queen takes f7 checkmate, that is the end of the game for black. This variation is known as the Sicilian variation, and is clearly deadly if black doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway, after queen h5, rook a6 was the correct move, which Pewdiepie played. So Carlsen correctly realised the threat of the a5 pawn and decided to take it, offering his queen. As a result of this game, this opening is now called the Carlson Gambit. Now, Pewdiepie declined the gambit and played pawn to h5 with the real threat of pawn to h4. Carlsen decided this black pawn cannot move to h4 under any circumstances, so decided to play pawn to h4 himself. But now Pewdiepie played the excellent move rook a to h6, doubling the rooks on this key h-file. Now here in this position, Carlsen realised his queen is in perilous danger and will soon be trapped, so he played queen takes c7. If we go back, if he ignored the threat to his queen and played a move like knight c3, after pawn to b6 the queen is trapped, and after a move like pawn d3, b takes a5 and the queen is gone. So instead, Carlsen decided to take the pawn as some sort of compensation. Queen takes c7. And now Pewdiepie decides to calmly develop and play pawn to f6, ignoring that he can take the queen. Now here's Carlsen plays a slight inaccuracy. Queen b7 is the best move here because it takes control of the key a8 to h1 diagonal, on which the majority of the play is happening. Instead, after pawn to f6, he decided to play queen takes d7 check. Now here, Pewdiepie still opts not to take the queen for positional reasons. This is a move Petrosian would have been proud of. King to f7, a beautiful move. And now Carlsen finally takes control of this diagonal by playing queen takes b7. But now Pewdiepie plays an astonishing move. Perhaps you'd like to pause the video and think what the best move is. Well, the move is queen d3. An amazing move. We may well make a video about this and put it in our amazing moves series. It really is that good. Carlsen was reportedly distraught after seeing this.
Big blunder for world such player like Magnus Carlsen.
Because now the black queen puts pressure on both the bishop and the c2 pawn. A killer fork. This was a truly bad position for white to be in, and one really has to feel for Magnus in such an utterly useless position. The official commentators Guy Kasparov and Peter Svidler were claiming a win for Pewdiepie at this point. But Carlsen decided to play on. Queen takes b8. Many were surprised that he did not resign, but he decided to play queen takes b8, which is quite an average move in my opinion. And now black plays queen to h7, a slight miscalculation. Perhaps a better move would have been to take the bishop on f1, as after king takes f1, the white king is no longer able to castle, so black probably has a slight edge. But after queen takes b8, black plays queen h7, which is probably gives white an advantage, as white is now able to play queen takes c8, a beautiful move by Carlsen. Now white has 3 passed pawns, which probably means white does have the advantage. And now Pewdiepie calmly plays the move king to g6, which is the topical line in this variation at the moment. Now, reportedly, Carlsen here fell asleep, believing he had pretty much won the game. Fortunately for Magnus, Vishy Anand, the former world champion and arbiter for the match, tripped and fell onto the Norwegian. While they were lying on top of each other, Vishy was rumoured to have shot Carlsen a cheeky glance, before the pair stood up and awkwardly laughed without making eye contact. Now Carlsen makes the biggest blunder of the game, probably due to the fact his attentions had shifted to Mr. Anand, who was passionately glaring at him, and also maybe he didn't properly understand the severe complexity of the position. The blunder? Queen e6. If you look, black is in stalemate. Carlsen has made a huge oversight. And despite having 9 passed pawns, the game ends in a draw. Carlsen, who was currently undergoing severe anger management and rehabilitation, flipped out. It is reported that he flipped the chessboard and decided to checkmate Pewdiepie right in the face. Vishy Anand, who was arbitrating the game, was forced to break it up. Carlsen is now seeking asylum in India, and according to sources of British chess magazine, Magnus has moved in with Vishy Anand. These are just rumours though, and neither player has wished to make a comment to the media swarmed outside Mr. Anand's house. So a truly historic game, both on and off the chessboard. Both sides played valiantly, and the draw was probably the fair result. So until next time, have fun with your chess.